Hi, I'm Christy Knighton, and this is Artifact 8, Standard 4.1, Criterion 12, Collaborate with Other Educators. In iTech 7400, we were tasked with soliciting advice from members of our cohort of teachers about our Engage Learning project. I also collaborated with the other 10th grade teacher at my school on this project since we both would be implementing it. Finally, I collaborated with a teacher at a nearby high school because her students would be giving feedback to my students for their speeches. In my project, students explore the First Amendment and the historical interpretation of students' rights to free speech at school. Students read and studied informational texts about the issue while also learning about persuasive techniques. They also interviewed an expert in social media via Google Meet, thereby engaging virtually with an expert. At the end of the unit, students will take a position on this question: should schools be able to discipline students for what they say on social media? They will be writing persuasive speeches or argumentative essays that they will deliver to their classmates. Here you can see where I posted my project idea to D2L and I received advice for my project from Eric. Throughout the idea, draft, and final draft stage of the project, many of my classmates and fellow educators posted advice to my project. These were from Cindy and Alisba. I too offered advice to my fellow educators about their projects. In this reply to Mr. Alisba Merchant, I offered advice about creating checkpoints along the way, offering ideas for involving parents into the project, and offering a website with links to another teacher's project idea for a similar project. After receiving feedback from the other educators, I made changes to my project. Here I highlighted where I've made the project more interdisciplinary after getting that advice from Eric and Alisba. Artifact 8, Standard 4.3, Criterion 14, facilitate students' virtual meetings with experts or students. My students were fortunate to be able to meet via Google Meet with Ms. Sandy Martin. Ms. Martin has a wealth of experience in marketing and communications. She has been the Director of Marketing and Communications for both the University of Houston and for the Warnell School of Forestry and Natural Resources at the University of Georgia. Ms. Martin spoke to students about the dangers of posting whatever you want to social media and how your posts stay with you even years later. She also spoke about how colleges and future employers can use your social media presence to reject you. Artifact 8, Standard 4.4, Criterion 15, demonstrate effective communication with all student supporters. There are several ways that I collaborate with both students and parents to increase student learning. One way that I collaborate and communicate with both parents and students is through Google Classroom. Google Classroom makes it easy to send messages either as a whole class or to individual students via the stream feature. I can also send emails to parents either in a large group or individually through Google Classroom. Another way that I communicate with parents is through social media, specifically Facebook. Teachers at my current middle school are required to send pictures and anecdotal information to our principal so that she can post things to Facebook for parents and students to see what is happening at our school. And these are four examples from this school year of things that were posted to Facebook based on what students were doing in my classes. I'm also in charge of the middle school journalism class, so we also communicate to parents and students via the school newsletter, Keeping Up with the GCEC. And this is one from February, and I've shown some examples of some student work. Artifact 8, Standard 5.2, Criterion 17, align to content area standards. Design authentic learning activities that align with content area standards and use digital tools and resources to maximize active, deep learning. My Engage Learning project is an authentic activity because students are taking on the adult role of a rights activist. The learning will be an authentic task because it's a topic that students are directly affected by and because they can choose to share their speeches with the community by having them posted on the school's webpage. Basically, what they're trying to understand is whether or not schools should be able to discipline students for what they say on social media, and also to learn about the hazards of posting things to social media. The Engaged Learning Project is aligned to the 10th grade ELA standards. These two standards, standard RI 12 and RI 15, determining a central idea of a text and analyze its development, and analyze in detail how an author's ideas or claims are developed, were met when students read all of the background materials for the project when they had to take notes, identify rhetorical devices, and analyze authors' claims and how the authors developed those claims. The writing standards were met when the students wrote their speeches, which were in the form of argumentative writing. So, W1, write arguments to support claims. W3, write narratives to develop real or imagined experiences. W5, develop and strengthen writing as needed by planning, revising, editing, rewriting, or trying a new approach. The narrative standard was met when students included an anecdote in their introductory paragraphs to hook the reader. This last standard was met when students revised their speeches. Finally, SL4, present information, findings, and supporting evidence clearly, concisely, and logically, such that listeners can follow the line of reasoning and the organization, development, substance, and style are appropriate to purpose, audience, and task. This standard was met when they gave their speech. Here are the two rubrics that students were assessed on. One grades it as a speech, and one that grades their project as a piece of writing. And you can see that they had to identify different things in their speech. So not only did they were they graded on this, but they also had to know exactly what it was and where it was in their speech. The project used digital tools and resources to maximize and deepen student learning. They used Google Docs, Common Lit website, our interactive view board. We used Google Meet, Flipgrid for them to share and solicit feedback from other students, and their Chromebooks and Google Forms. Thank you.